The Harder They Fall is a brand new Netflix original film hitting Netflix today, November 3rd, on a Wednesday. The film is directed, written, produced, and composed by James Samuel and stars Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz, Regina King, Delroy Lindo, Lakeith Stanfield, RJ Cyler, and Dion Cole. And tell a story about Idris Elba's character. He gets released from prison. He's once again leaving roughshod over certain areas and trying to take over an area called Redwood. So as a result, his arch enemy, I guess, as you call it, Jonathan Majors' character, leads him, Zazie Beetz, RJ Cyler, and many more to go after him and to save their westernized land. The film is 2 hours and 10 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back to a brand new Netflix movie review here on Max House. We'll be talking about the highly anticipated The Harder They Fall. I'm really excited to talk about this movie. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. That's the best way to support this channel. I did these types of movie reviews, TV show reviews, shooting platform reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown. So there's so much stuff covered at the channel, multiple reviews that I'll tell you at the end of this video. Please comment down below. First of all, if you've seen this film, tell me if you like it, not like it. And also, if you have not seen this film, tell me, will you check this one out this upcoming week on Netflix? Also, please like the video, the thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel the best way. Let's talk about this movie. So I said, I didn't see any trailers for the movie, but I knew that it was a Western and I knew the cast. And that got me instantly excited. This is honestly one of the best casts of the entire year. You need to talk about Jonathan Majors and Idris Elba and Regina King and Delroy Lindo and Lakeith Stanfield and Zazie Beetz. I mean, this is a pretty much an all-star acting really movie. This is, it's really, really well acted across the board. But let's actually get into my positives and my negatives. I'll give you my score. The first thing I want to say is that the cast really is fantastic in this movie. Jonathan Majors I'm a huge Jonathan Majors fan. If you followed this channel well, you know, from day one, I was watching Lovecraft Country, The Five Bloods. So the fact that, of course, him and Delroy Lindo, we have multiple reunions in this movie with Jonathan Majors and Delroy Lindo from The Five Bloods, and you have the Atlanta reunion between Zazie Beetz and Lakeith Stanfield. So it's nice to see all these people working back with each other. Majors is an extremely likable lead, as he usually is. He plays a character who, in the opening scene, you see why he is filled with so much hatred for Idris Elba's character. There's a reason why, and that's why he has this new gang, the Nat Love gang, which is his gang, where, you know, it's him, Zazie Beetz, Delroy Lindo, RJ Cyler, Eddie Gathegi, I hope I'm saying his name right, and I'm trying to find the other person, and that is Danielle Didweiler. All those people, that his gang is really, really interesting, and he's the leader of it, and you understand why he wants to go after Elba's character. You really understand it. It's a big force for making the movie go forward. His relationship with Zazie Beetz is extremely solid. They have good chemistry with each other. Zazie Beetz, just like she was in Deadpool 2, is a total badass. It has some fun action scenes in the movie. But the main actor and the character that I thought was by far the best part of the entire movie was Idris Elba's character. He plays Rufus Black, who really is the villain. He is escaped from prison, and he and his gang, which is really just him, Lakeith Stanfield, and Regina King, he is basically, the way the movie shoots him, the way the movie portrays him, and how much he's on screen or not on screen, really portray him as this mystical devil, basically. They keep referring to him as the devil. When you speak of his name, you speak of fear. And you see him get down and dirty when he has to, and other times he lets people like Regina King, like Lakeith Stanfield, do the dirty work for him. And the balance of that, and you're just afraid. He has an ominous presence. Whenever he's on screen, you can feel something bad is about to happen because Idris Elba's character was on screen. He's really, really great in the movie. Regina King is also, and also Lakeith Stanfield, who I'm a huge, huge, huge Lakeith Stanfield person. He really is coming into his own as pretty much a star coming up very soon in Hollywood. He is so good in this movie, and his character, the way that he's kind of the main character who does the old school Western duels, and he's kind of the king of that in this movie. He's really, really fun to watch. I said Regina King is, of course, it's Regina King. She's fantastic in the movie, and her big story with Zazie Beetz is really interesting. And I wanted a lot more screen time with them two, just each other on screen. As I said, Delroy Lindo is really fun. All the actors are really great, but for me, it was definitely Idris Elba's gang, him, Regina King, and Lakeith Stanfield, and Jonathan Majors and Zazie Beetz. Those are the five main standouts for me in this film. Also, I think the film also has some really good violent action scenes that sometimes work as comedy and sometimes really work as a good drama action. There's some, especially the last 30 minutes of this movie, which is basically just all action. It's really high energy and really good Western action with using old school Western. Then you have you have some brawls, you have some guns, you have some duels, you have all these different types of action set pieces in a Western film, all are in this movie. And for the most part, they all do work. I really love the brutality of the movie, the violence of the movie, which I think needs to be in really every single Western film. I also feel, again, they really did a good job building up the Jonathan Majors versus the Idris Elba big time fight in the third act, because they really are separated from each other for most of the film. And you can feel how epic it gets the closer you feel like that will happen. And the closer you get to happen, that is where the excitement level of this movie really comes from. Building up to seeing Jonathan Majors fight Idris Elba. That's kind of the big time fight, because he's the main good guy on his gang side, and then you have Idris Elba's people, and he's the leader. And you always just want to see the build up to them two fighting each other is really well done. And again, the action's really well done. The movie also looks really good. It has some really great music in it. The soundtrack, Jay-Z is a producer in the film, so I can't really tell you whose song is which, but the composer, who also is our director and writer, producer, James Samuel, his composing and the actual soundtrack of the movie is also really good. It makes it feel like a different type of Western film. It's not just old school themes. There's actually a lot of new music that adds to it, which I think adds a new dimension to the film. But let's move on to my negatives with the film. My main negative is I wish I was more emotionally attached to the story of the movie. The Jonathan Majors Zazie Beetz relationship, I didn't really was that attached to as much as I wanted to. The whole, the rest of Majors' group, I didn't feel that attached to, especially RJ Cyler and Eddie Gathegi. They weren't just not fleshed out enough. I didn't really buy their friendship. They hinted that Delroy Lindo used to be on Idris Elba's side of this war, but now he's on Majors' side. I wish there was more explained to that. And the actual ending of the movie, I felt like I needed to be a lot more emotionally into it, because the characters were very emotional. And I felt like, as me, I needed to be a lot more emotional. That was kind of my main issue with the movie. For how much I really liked this movie, I wanted to feel a bit more emotional into the movie. Deaths happen left or right, and sometimes I care and sometimes I don't. And you have this big of a cast, I get it, but I wanted to feel a little bit more emotionally attached for some of these major character deaths that happened during the movie. So, and as I said, the story is also very familiar. You have seen this type of twist at the third act happen with these type of Western story, or just stories in general. The film, there's not really a big unpredictable factor to the movie. It's a very over stereotypical Western film at times, but because of this really great direction from James Samuel and this really fantastic cast, this film, for the most part for me, really works. I'm going to give The Harder They Fall a 4 out of 5 stars and 82%. I really like this film. It's a really good film on Netflix, so please support this film. It's nice to see now African-Americans starring in Western films. About damn time, really. About damn time. And we saw Idris Elba, his second year, basically. Second movie this year, him as a cowboy. He was in Concrete Cowboy earlier this year on Netflix. I'll leave that review at the top. So it's nice to see him play a cowboy once again. So that's my thoughts on The Harder They Fall. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, all those things. Comment down below. If you want to see my review of Concrete Cowboy, it's right there. If you want to see my other movie reviews of the year, that's also right there. Subscribe. My recent upload. Also, my reviews coming down the line. Eternals, that review will be tomorrow, Thursday, then Friday. My review of Love Hard, the new Netflix one, will be on Friday, and then my box office breakdown show will be on Monday, as well as my review of season 5 of Big Mouth. All these reviews are coming on the channel, so please consider subscribing and ringing that bell. I'll see you guys soon.